What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. Once again, if you guys are enjoying the Africa Pack mini-series, make sure you leave a like on the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. A lot of you probably aren't even going to notice just how much work I've done now to this aquarium off camera, but it is quickly becoming our most highly trafficked area in the zoo, and that's thanks to one thing and one thing only. Obviously, we don't have any animals in the exhibit yet. It's not even fully open. The only thing we have are ATMs. People just went crazy as soon as I put these ATMs in about 30 minutes ago, actually. And ever since then, dude, there's just been a steady stream of people walking in and out of this building. I quickly realized that we didn't have a single ATM in the zoo yet, so I thought maybe the aquarium would be a nice spot to put them. Oh, we have had an animal die. This is so sad. Our first meerkat, 15 and a half years old, died of old age. We gotta call the vet on that one, dude. That's a big RIP to the homie right there. But you know what? 15 and a half years old? That seems like a pretty long life for a meerkat. Anyways, I'm gonna try not to get distracted by something like that again. See, this is why I normally play the game paused. People often ask me, Toogii, why are you playing the game paused all the time? It's because there's just too much going on. My super wrinkly brain just can't handle everything at once. Moving around to the right of the ATMs here, just across from the bathrooms, we're now utilizing some of the game's more educational type boards. I think it's important to educate our guests both on the habitats and specific habitat species, as well as ways to protect the natural habitat for those animals out in the wild. So we have two little signs here. This one on the right, that's talking about global warming. The one on the left is talking about ways to preserve our ozone layer. And now underneath the observation deck, you may notice we have some glass now, and it's already cracking, so I should probably call a mechanic out here. Actually, we should just hire another mechanic. We're gonna need another one of those anyways. Let's head into staff really quick, grab ourselves another mechanic. We'll plop him down right there. What is your name? Miss Edna Crow. All right, Edna. Oh, we also just had a mechanic just appear out of nowhere already, so that's convenient. Continuing on with our little tour here, we now have an information kiosk, or in this one, they're actually called an information center. This is kind of similar to the information kiosk from Planet Coaster, except that one only sold tickets for like priority queue access type things. This one sells umbrellas and adoption packages and a bunch of other zoo related things that we don't typically do, so I wanted to try to incorporate one of those. I think it's going to be a pretty good fit here. And then if we make our way back in front of the fountains and up this little staircase here, we have some nice accent lighting on the stairs. I'll show you guys the lighting here in a moment as well. It looks incredible. So much better than how it looked before. Up here is pretty much the same thing as downstairs, just with a bit more space. It's quite a bit more open now, and that's mainly because I removed the roof that was originally over the habitat, because I kind of realized that these are African penguins and they don't actually need any sort of coolers or anything. So trying to sort of trap the air conditioning in this space doesn't really make sense. They're pretty well acclimated to the warm weathers of Africa, so I don't think they're gonna have any trouble being out in the hot sun. Back down this little side staircase, I am so proud of this, dude. This is like sort of the secondary main entrance to the facility. It was definitely a little bit difficult to actually model the interior of this thing just because it's at a completely different orientation than the rest of the building, but we finally figured it out, and honestly, I think it turned out really, really nice. It does, like, this whole building actually just looks way better at nighttime. Again, we'll see that here shortly, but we have this nice little quarter round potting sort of area, a couple little penguin statues, and then down here on the bottom level, no two sides are the same here, so I wanted to try to make it as uniform as possible, but also not just like a copy and paste sort of cookie cutter type deal. As I mentioned, this whole place looks so much nicer at nighttime, so let's actually quickly go to sleepy sleep time, and this needs a mechanic like ASAPalapicus, dude. We just got a solar panel on the fritz over there, but check this out, dudes and dudettes. Look at that. We got nice accent lighting on the underside of both of those there, and then up on the top, dude, it just gets better and better. Honestly, I think the whole building just looks better at nighttime. We ended up ditching those massive spotlights that we had sort of clipping through the roof in the previous episode because they're just too bright, man. Like, every time someone walked in here, they just get blinded immediately by those things. I was able to add one on the outside of the building, just on top of the larger keeper hut we have over here for the micro exhibits. We have a nice spotlight lighting up the penguin sign. I did want to try to do a similar thing for the other two signs we have on the building, but unfortunately, I just couldn't find a good spot to put another spotlight. We might figure something out later on, but for right now, I think it's looking pretty nice. Okay, so back to daytime. We got even more stuff to cover. So over here, we have another little viewing area. I don't know if I touched on this much in the previous video, but I'm really, really proud of this, especially now that we have the enclosure, the habitat barrier installed. Everything's just really coming together. So we have a huge glass pane right here that'll allow some guests that maybe aren't inside the aquarium, they're just sort of walking on by, the chance to then approach and, you know, check out what the penguins got going on. So this area, from probably about the middle of this wall here to maybe the middle of this wall here, everything behind this imaginary line that I'm drawing is going to be land. Everything in front of it, up by the glass, is then going to be water. And I have actually tested this, thankfully, and it does work. So hopefully it works again during an actual recording. We're just losing meerkat after meerkat today, dude. 15 and a half years old, these things just bite the dust. And then lastly, I have one more little area to show you guys. This is the staff resting facility as well as the workshop for some of our mechanics. We also added both a water temperature regulator system and a water treatment system because I really didn't know what to fill this area with, and honestly this just made the most sense. And then right behind the staff door here and just up these stairs, the path system didn't really like what I was trying to do originally when the door was like right here, so instead I just moved it out a little bit. And I know what you guys are thinking, this little mound of dirt looks pretty bad. We're gonna finish her up today. It's gonna look perfect. That should be just about everything that's new now covered and gone over. So now, ladies and gents, we get to dive in, again, no pun intended, to the penguin habitat itself. I'm pretty excited about this. We're gonna see if we can make something special for these pengies. First, we have to do a little bit of research on our friends the African penguin because I know little to nothing about them. I know they're penguins and I know they're from Africa, but I need to know a little bit more about their habitat and what it's supposed to properly look like. They definitely live coastal. I would imagine that's because the water is right in front of them. They need about 1,900 square feet of land and about 1,400 square feet of water with a depth requirement of 721 feet. What? Yo, that's deep. That is real deep. Their group size is huge, dude. 6 to 500, up to 500 males and up to 500 females. Can guests enter the habitat? Yes. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were that social of an animal. Dang, okay, they live for 27 years, so that's honestly a much better track record than a lot of the animals we have currently. But they are only fertile up to 14 years, which is about half of their life. Their current population in the wild is only 41,000, which seems a little bit low for a penguin. And just judging from this picture here, we can see some coastal waters, we have some sand, we have some sort of darker gray rocks, so I think that's probably the look I'm gonna try to go for. And I really didn't know that they like deep water so much, so kind of have to adjust my planning here. I'm thinking maybe we try to make this area out here the deep zone, so to speak. If not, we could sort of do like a little L shape maybe from over here up into this area. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. First, we need to figure out their land. To start here, I'm gonna go through some of the aquatic faux rocks that we have. These are actually an addition from the aquatic pack, not the Africa pack, but we're probably gonna use them anyways. I just wanna see if I can't get a nice dark gray color. There we go, that looks pretty good. Let's bring it out into the sun a little bit more, see what we think of it. Yeah, that actually works really, really well. So we have a lot of the darker areas, those are actually almost a black in color. So we have the cracks color, which is kind of funny, and then we have the body color. So body color is that darker gray that we were after, and then the cracks color is actually fairly dark. Hopefully we can blend this in pretty seamlessly, but I think that's a good starting point. After doing just this little small portion over here, I quickly realized that this is going to take me a lot longer than I originally thought. So rather than just continuing the video being like, I'm gonna place this rock here and that rock there because XYZ, I think I'm gonna hit you guys with a little time lapse. So I will see you guys here before too long. just a measly, you know, hour and a half later, no big deal, but we finally have a nice base structure, a good foundation for our penguin exhibit. Let me just walk you guys through this, all right? Because there's a lot to take in. First of all, does the water still work? Honestly, I haven't tried this for a minute, so I sure hope so. Let's see, that's max height right there. Looks about the same as it was. Now, I have no idea if this is enough water area for the penguins. I have no idea if this is enough land area for the penguins, but I definitely thought it was important to give them some sort of a hard shelter. Now, I definitely want to try to build a roof on this back structure here. I don't think I'm going to do that today. A little burnt out on placing down stones, if I'm being honest. But something that I tried with this one that I don't typically do is basically did a retaining wall. Still trying to alternate the colors as best I could. So a couple of these bricks in here are actually a lighter gray than the rest, just so it's not everything dark gray all the time. You know, we gotta try to break it up again. There's one of those phrases that I love to throw in. How can we break up this wall? Anyways, the area that I've given them should theoretically be large enough for a small family of penguins, which brings us to our next objective, actually placing in penguins. First, we have to buy them. I don't even know how much these things cost. So let's go into animal trading and we will adjust the list accordingly. Here we go, African penguin. Thankfully, they're fairly inexpensive, I would say, compared to other animals that we've done. So we have both males a little bit older than the two females. Females are around the same age here. I will admit none of these are particularly good penguins as far as their stats go. So I'm just going to go with the 8-year-old here, the male. He has a 3,100 appeal, whereas the other one here only has a 2,700. I think we're going to adopt him, and we will send him to this habitat. Okay, now we need a female. Both of them are 2,900 for their appeal. This one cost quite a bit more, and I think that's just because its stats are slightly better. The fertility on this female is nicer, but the longevity is pretty well shot. We're gonna go ahead and adopt her, and we'll place her in this habitat as well. Dude, I'm super, super eager to get these things in the zoo. Oh, these are way better than what we just got. Dude, oh, and we have more animals dying. This is just the greatest. I'm gonna get these two as well. We'll get that male. I wonder if they have an alpha male system. I'm not really sure. And then we'll get this female, spending some of our conservation credits. And now just a prime female pops up. What are the odds? Dude, we're getting her as well. There we go. Any other solid contenders here? This one's got a silver medal. Let's get her. Perfect. Okay, so at this point, I don't even know how many penguins we have, but I just remembered that I totally forgot to show you guys the underwater feature that we have just over here. So if we dip below the surface, we have a nice little rocky area back in here. A lot of this does have to get lowered down still, too. I think we'll have the sort of deep water area maybe be just in front of this glass over here. That way everywhere else can be fairly shallow. All right, what animal died? Another meerkat, dude. We got to go through and purchase a whole bunch of meerkats now. 15.5 years old, just like the other one. Sibella. R.I.P. Sibella. But about that underwater feature, we actually have a pretty dope waterfall. I ended up doing an arch just because I didn't know how to decorate it anymore, and I think that's our first penguin. Dude, look at this penguin. Look at this man's. Or wait. Sorry, ma'am. Look at this ma'am's. She is just absolutely loving life already. Okay, so we just have the one in here. I think that's going to be just fine for us to get our terrain figured out first. Navigable 13-foot deep water area. Oh, dude, that makes so much more sense. So they do want a deep area. They only need 13 feet as a maximum depth, but the overall area needs to be 721 square feet, which I think we can probably do. But as for land and water, perfect. We're looking a-okay there. So before she starts to get too comfortable in here, I'm actually going to get rid of the water, and we're going to try to make a deeper zone here. Now that we have a slightly deeper area here, we're going to fill it back up, and then I'm going to hit play. I want to see if that's at least 13 feet. Wait, calculating. Okay, there we go. Sweet. So yeah, we just need a little bit more around this depth. That should be fairly easy. All right, I'm digging that rock wall. I think we extended that nicely. Now we just have to go through and smooth everything out because it looks pretty gross right about now. So we'll bring this area out just like that. So they have a nice subtle dip down to the deeper area. And then over here, same thing. We're just gonna come through and smooth out this whole bit. Now that we have everything smooth, let's throw this water back in here and we'll see if it's still working. And this better move from 323 to hopefully somewhere around the 700 area. Oh, she got completely reset. All right. Sorry, girl. Oh, 570, dude. We're close, though. We're real close. Okay, this is it. This is it. I can feel it. 732. Oh, my God. Okay, we're so close now, dudes. We are so close. It says deep water 100%, but they do just need a little bit more. All right, you remember how I've been saying, this is it, this is it. Well, this time is actually it. Maybe. 732, 764. Dude, we got it right on the dot. Okay, it's still orange, right? We're gonna disregard that, okay? Because deep water over here says 100%, so that's what I'm sticking with. Now, as for the rest of their terrain, they actually need quite a bit more soil. Their amount of sand is pretty good, but they do need some soil yet. So I'm gonna put a little bit of soil just kind of coming out of their little habitat back here, their little hard shelter area. I definitely love it. I hope the animals feel as strongly about it as I do, but what we have to do now is figure out how we're going to take care of this exhibit. As we sit right now, we don't currently have a keeper hut designated to take care of these penguins, but what we do have is this humongous keeper hut over here that theoretically we should be able to use, because the only keeper we have assigned to it right now is likely this dude bro right here for the micro exhibits. Before we even add another keeper, I'm going to go through and select all the buildings that we need for this. So we'll select this keeper hut there. We'll then use this big staff resting facility, and then all we have to do is select this habitat, and there you go. We're just gonna name this one real simple, Penguin Keeper. I'm gonna try to drop the keeper in the habitat because I've never done that before. Oh, it actually doesn't work. Okay, that's why we've never done that before. Let's put him just out here then. We're gonna get her set up on the Penguin Keeper work zone. There we go. All right, we should be all set. Now, the next thing we have to do is get another mechanic. Thankfully, we already got another one. We just have to assign a new work zone for them. For this mechanic, I think I want them to try to take care of all of the surrounding facilities of the aquarium as well. So we're going to select things like that solar panel right there, this staff resting facility, of course, these water treatment and water temperature regulators, the mechanic workshop, of course, that we have in there. We'll even select this habitat so they can make sure they come and check on the barrier frequently. We'll select this other solar panel out there. We got another one over here. Dude, we have a lot of solar panels, like a lot. Not to mention these 3 ATMs we have over there. We'll make sure we get those. Okay, I feel like that's everything we would need. And then we'll title this one Aquarium Mechanic. Seems fitting. Now back to staff. We have to find that new mechanic we just hired. I believe it was Edna, if I remember correctly. So we're going to change her work zone to Aquarium Mechanic, and we should be good to go. Francis right now is kind of a floater. Just kind of goes around, does their thing. Eventually, I'm sure we'll have to add more mechanic stations and things, but for right now, I'd say we're looking pretty good. So back to this habitat. Dude, we got guests piling in here already. Anyone downstairs? What? Dude, this is like, I guess there's none of them in the water right now, but this is the area that I would check out first. Definitely not the top, although the top does look pretty nice. I gotta hand it to him, man. Whoever made this zoo, they know what they're doing. Here I am just patting myself on the back. All right, we have to go through and make sure we have all of these educational features set on the African penguin, of course. So I think we just have that one monitor upstairs and there's another down here. We have our first penguin swimming, dude. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Dang. Okay, so we got to get one of those underwater feeders. Dude, we got to get a whole bunch of enrichment stuff for these bad boys. Wait, what? Do they actually lay on this? This is just a dock, isn't it? I'd say right about there looks good. Dude, check that out. So what's really cool about this is the penguins can actually dive through the center, through that hole right there. And then if we just happen to put a feeder down under here, I feel like that would look really nice. Oh, it says feeder not deep enough. Hang on, is that actually accurate? It is accurate. What the heck? Okay, so it's got to go deeper? That's kind of weird. God, that's really weird. I don't think I've ever seen that notification before. Oh, many guests think tickets are underpriced now. Again, let's do $20 for adults, and we'll do 15 actually. We'll keep it at 15. Well, I'm not really sure why it's not working, but I think I'm just gonna leave it there for right now, and we'll try to sort it out later. I don't want to spend too much time on stuff like that. So let's get back into habitat, dude. We got a lot more to do. I'm gonna put the food tray right over here. Oh, we got a rubber duck, dude. I'm putting the rubber duck on this rock over there. Got a block of frozen fish. That's gonna go there. We got just a block of ice, because why not? And we'll do a slow feeder over there. All right, cool. Now, I think what these dudes and dudettes need is some bedding. I don't know if I should go with leaves or if I should go with proper bedding. I feel like just normal bedding is what we want. Okay, now they should have plenty of bedding, plenty of areas to go off and hide when the guests are getting a little too annoying. Look at this dude or dudette. They are just cruising, dude. Wow, they're actually really fast. I mean, I know they're like kind of made for swimming in things. I get this, but I just didn't think they'd be that quick underwater. Having a great time. What's it look like from inside? Oh, that's nice, dude. That's real nice. Hang on. Something else we could do too is actually change the color of this water. Cleanliness and everything like that is looking good. So we can actually change the transparency of the water as well to make it just a little bit better for underwater viewing. There we go, dude. That looks so good. Heckin' right, bud. Oh, another meerkat, Zola, 14 and a half years old. This one didn't quite get to that 15 and a half. Big sad, man, big sad. Oh, many guests still think tickets are underpriced. Is that right? Let's do 22 then and 18. Try to complain about those prices. I'd love to see that. And this area is just getting more and more popular, dude. Underwater viewing area, freaking packed. Absolute madhouse. Upstairs is a little different story now, surprisingly. People are kind of realizing, I think the better viewing area for this exhibit is actually down under. Down under, mate. We got pengies already about to mate, dude. They're just getting right to it. Getting right to work. Let's see. Do we have pregnarts? We have pregnartsy. There we go, dude. December year 12. Okay. In a couple months. Wow. I love that, dude. They're not messing around. They're like, okay, our population's a little bit limited right now. We need to get right to work. And then, like, what are these two doing? They're just over here high-fiving and stuff. Oh, that's so good. So good. Look at the freaking crowd too, dude. Absolutely nuts. Something we haven't done yet is actually change their food grade. So I think we should adjust that from grade 1 to grade 3. They're worth it. You know what? They're worth it. This is kind of funny. Everyone was just in the underwater viewing area, and now everyone's up top for whatever reason. They just kind of move from top to bottom. And now we actually have a handful of people using the alternate entrance and exit, which is looking nice. God, look at the amount of people up here, dude. It's just an absolute sea of people. Hopefully we're getting tons of donos, but everyone and their mom seems to be just loving this new exhibit, dude. God, I really love it when a plan comes together. This is, believe it or not, what I had originally envisioned. I just wasn't quite sure if it was gonna work just because of the size constraint that we sort of gave ourselves when constructing the aquarium. I kind of knew worst case, if we did have to expand, we have this whole little area out here. We could kind of bring it out a bit more, but I'm so happy with how this turned out. And I don't think we've actually looked at this little bit yet. But that looks nice as well. So anyone just walking by, like these people over here. Oh, never mind, she turned around. Some people are getting smart about it. They're like, oh, there actually might be a little bit better viewing opportunity over yonder. And if that feeder was working, I'm sure it would look especially dope, but it's all good. All right, ladies and gents, with that, I do think we're gonna wind things down here. But once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.